Hey, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to this week's episode on Kelly's Corner, where we talk about everything under the sun, or for this week, under the nose. Achoo! Yes, you guessed it. We will be talking about viruses and specifically the effects of what time of the year you get the virus. Now, let's get down to the basics. A virus is defined as a non-living infectious agent of molecules that occupies the host cells in animals, plants, and bacteria. Now, an example of a virus that I can assure you almost everyone has gotten is the flu. The flu or influenza virus is a viral infection that attacks the lungs, nose, and throat. In order to prevent the flu virus from becoming deadly, we get the flu shot, which is a vaccine that carries small parts of the influenza virus and is launched into our system, specifically in the arm. With the smallest parts of the virus, our body's immune system can fight the virus off easily, most of the time, without getting sick with lymphocytes. Pause! Miss Smarty Pants is here to define vocab. Lymphocytes are white blood cells that protect the immune system. They consist of T and B cells that are natural killers to pathogens. Now, after fighting off T lymphocytes, otherwise known as memory cells, cells remember what the pathogen was, and if encountered again, B lymphocytes will produce antibodies to attack. Now, I'm pretty sure all of you have either gotten or are about to get your flu shot. You know, the annoying trip to the doctors that you used to absolutely dread when you were younger. I personally just got mine yesterday, and I even got a cute little Looney Tunes Band-Aid. But the real question is, why do we get them in the fall time versus summer or spring? To partially answer this, we have to look at the hemispheres. In the northern hemisphere with the United States, the flu season begins in October and lasts until March. This is very contradictory to the southern hemisphere, where winter comes between June and September. So the influenza virus peaks during the winter around both parts of the world. This means that the virus has a greater chance in surviving in the cold and drier air climate. The virus likes this cold because the cold air destroys our line of defense in the immune system. When the virus enters our body, they get trapped in the sticky snot in our nose, which is moved by our nasal passages. With the appearance of cold air, the nasal passages are cooled and slows down mucus clearance to protect the body from the virus. The winter also has significantly less sunlight than the summer, leading to lower levels of vitamin D and nutrients, ultimately weakening our immune system. Vitamin D provides protection against acute respiratory infections. Vitamin D is produced by the body in response to the skin being exposed to the sunlight. Sunlight is a kind of electromagnetic radiation given off by the sun in infrared, visible, and ultraviolet light. When one's skin is exposed to sunlight, it makes vitamin D from cholesterol. The sun's ultraviolet B rays hit cholesterol in the skin cells, providing energy for the vitamin D synthesis to occur. With this vitamin D, one's immune system is strengthened and will be able to protect themselves against antigens. The winter also allows for people to stay indoors more and have greater contact with the flu virus as opposed to being outside where there's more air circulation, more commonly seen in the summer. A lack of air circulation in crowded rooms will help the virus spread throughout person to person. So obviously, a person who has contracted the flu virus will be experiencing the normal symptoms such as a headache, fatigue, fever, cough, congestion, nausea, etc. But no one really looks at the other effects of the virus because of how it changes. The flu virus is constantly changing due to the 4 versions of the influenza virus, A, B, C, and D. Very hard to remember, I know. Scientists have to then adapt and create alterations for the vaccine. They use the information about the present year's flu virus to help develop the next year's one. Before a vaccine is produced, the World Health Organization, otherwise known as WHO, organizes a consultation to help determine the composition of the vaccine. The meetings take place in February for the Northern Hemisphere and in September for the Southern Hemisphere. The United States goes into the final stage with the Food and Drug Administration, FDA, in February each year for the decision about which virus to include in the upcoming flu season's vaccine. Through the changes of vaccinations of the flu virus, many different things are affected. One of them being the socioeconomic impact of the virus. The economic impact of the flu on society is seen from the lost work time and reduced productivity of patients and caregivers, as well as increased use of medical resources. Fun fact, the costs for the government solely from the influenza virus can be around $90 billion a year. Do you know how many In-N-Out burgers you can buy from all that money? Precisely about 26,086,956,521 burgers. Wow, that's a lot of In-N-Out. It sure is. Now, I am sure by the time in this video, you have learned a lot about the influenza virus and how the seasons affect the very specific and detailed vaccination process. I hope you all enjoyed listening to Kelly's Corner and you have a great rest of your day. Peace out.